Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. So today I want to talk about finding photographs in the edit. Because when I photograph, I typically shoot people a lot of times at crosswalks because they're all gathered up, and then at the moment of crossing, they kind of come out and they sometimes have a look of urgency on their faces. And then also one of the things to watch for when you're shooting street, especially in a busy touristy area, is when the light is turning red. And there's that one person who wants to shoot across the street and try to make it even though it says don't walk, and they probably shouldn't. So this photograph was shot on the 16th Street Mall. And again, I'll put it in the links below. And it's a picture of a woman running across the street right before the light turns. But I did not see the man turning back. And what makes the photograph for me is his glance back at her. So what actually happened was, I think they were together, and he went and she didn't, and then at the last minute she decided to go. But in the photograph, it's kind of funny because it almost, to me, looks like she's chasing him and he's looking back, looking to see if she's still behind him. But that's not really the story, and sometimes the stories can be false. So that's certainly one. I believe they were together. But that's not the story that the photograph creates. And in some sense, the photograph creates its own reality. People will say, look, that woman's stalking that man. Well, she's probably not. But that's the fascinating element of photography and how you tell stories and how their glances work and what they do tell you so much about them, but only from what you can create out of what you see, but that doesn't necessarily make it true. And I'm fascinated by that kind of a thing. There's another photograph that I'll put in the links below. I can't quickly get to it on the iPad, but it's a photograph of a man and a woman on another street corner, and the man is glancing back at her. And I'll show you in the link and you'll see why. And that photograph looks like a man kind of leering at a woman. But it really wasn't. They were actually talking, and then she was leaving, he was leaving, and then she was looking for her keys, and he glanced back, and it was all very, very innocent, but it doesn't look innocent in the photograph. And that's one of the challenging, interesting things about photography. You know, people say photographs don't lie, but it's like, well, they certainly can imply things that aren't necessarily true. But everything has some element of truth. The man is looking back, or this woman is running and this guy is looking back. But that all, doesn't necessarily mean that there's some story that you can instantly see and say, oh, that's what it means. So for the next project suggestion, if you can contribute, this is going to be a more tough one to contribute to because it's hard to find these. These photographs are ones that you're shooting and then later you find that in the edit. For me, it's not something that you're planning and you always see. It's something that you're able to kind of catch later and you're noticing it. Hey, look at that. Look at the way they're interacting. And it looks like something, but it's really something else. So this might not be one that you're shooting this week, but you certainly can. But if you have anything in your collection that represents something like this, let's see it and let's talk about it. Because there's a interesting element to photographs that maybe don't tell the obvious story or tell a completely different story than is what was maybe really happening. And that's a fascinating use of an image to tell a story. All right, that's today's photography talk. I look forward to seeing if you have anything you can contribute. I'd like to take a look at them. I'll put those links to the photos below. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button and join us. And if you can contribute a cup of coffee a month, a beer a month, $5 is a great amount. It's not a lot, and it's something that if everybody does, it helps a lot. Hit the Patreon link. I have that down below. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week shooting street photography, working on your photographs, and here's to great life.